It's Halloween. I love Halloween. Maybe it's the history of clear-cut social contracts that yield guaranteed rewards. Maybe it's the permission to embody a hyperfixation for an evening and ride that high into the sunset. It could be the weather, with mild, unchanging temperatures and quieter surroundings making it easier to slip into that wonderful monotropic state. Or maybe it's the idea of embodying and confronting our fears, so that those monstrous things which no longer serve us can wither and die at our feet before the roaring fire of our reckless abandon. Probably it's the weather. But seriously, Halloween has always felt really special to me, and it's the only time of year I feel compelled to celebrate and join the social wavelength that people seem to want to ride during the holidays. I want to be a part of what's happening, even if I do it alone. Ever since my trick-or-treating license expired, sometime around my growth spurt, the easiest way for me to celebrate Halloween throughout my life has been with gaming. Whether it's my annual Ravenloft one-shot, dressing up like Richter Belmont to play Castlevania, lurking on Twitch to see people streaming spooky games, gaming has always been my social outlet of choice for Halloween. So, I want to share a few of my games that get me pumped up for spooky season and invite you to play them with me. Well, not literally with me in most cases, but at the same time, alone, together. And then tweet at me about it so I can stay high on the Halloween fumes for as long as possible. So now, in no particular order, here are a few of my favorite games to celebrate Halloween with. Castlevania Rondo of Blood. This game has informed so many things about me throughout the years. It's one of the things you could put in a circle of salt to summon my ghost. Technically, the setting is horror-themed, like all Castlevania games, but it's just so colorful and fun that there's nothing truly disquieting about it. And you're beating up the Grim Reaper with a whip. I've always felt like the relationship between horror and comedy is really blurry, and both are just about setting and then subverting your expectations in different ways, and they use one another to be more effective. A joke in a horror movie can reset the tension for the next conflict, and tension in comedy can make the next joke that much more effective. The tone of our shonen protagonist good boy, Richter Belmont, storming Dracula's castle to rescue his lady love, strikes the perfect balance of melodrama and goofy action. It was the first time any Castlevania protagonist had this much character and charisma, even if he is a bit of a generic archetype. There's also another playable character you can unlock, Maria, who's sort of this game's easy mode, taking away the tension of the gameplay by making it less challenging, and the tension of the setting by just not ever getting scared because she's got the self-preservation instincts of, well, a child. There's a PSP remake of this game called Castlevania Chronicles that's a little more moody. Not my favorite, but maybe you'll like it. There's a Super Nintendo game called Castlevania Dracula X, which a lot of people hesitate to call a port because it's so different. It's kind of like a demake, but I love it all the same. So if you don't have a TurboGrafx console, a PlayStation 4 or 5 with the Requiem collection, or the WiiWare Rondo of Blood release, or whatever dark magic people use to summon video games not available for purchase, Dracula X is a lot easier to find and arguably has the better soundtrack, so if that's what you end up playing, I'm officially sponsoring you into the Castlevania Cool Kids Club. If there's a game in the series people are telling you not to enjoy, but you like it anyway, you can tell them I said, okay. A part of Halloween's charm is that we are encouraged to view the dark, the disturbing, and the unknown through the lens of celebration and childlike wonder. Just like the opening scene of a movie, the traditions of Halloween can temporarily suspend our disbelief. They can ease us into something by surrounding ourselves with the imagery of the unseen world. And we get excited because on some unconscious level, we are accepting the possibility that not only might these things exist, but that they can be overcome. There's a reason the protagonists of Stranger Things and the works of the two Stevens that inspired much of the show, Stephen King and Steven Spielberg, are just kids on bicycles. Kids on Bikes is a tabletop RPG where each player assumes the role of a kid with a backpack and the will to oppose the forces of darkness. While not explicitly Halloween-themed, it snaps into the genre perfectly. It is, at its heart, a game about protecting your hometown from something grown-ups are too scared or cynical to acknowledge, and doing it by seeing the world through a child's eyes. The whole group gets shared control over a superpowered character, think Eleven, E.T., or even Sloth from the Goonies. Character creation, and even generating the town in which the game will take place, is done as a group, so right out of the gate, everyone has a relationship with each other and with the setting. Something about Animal Crossing has always lured me in to celebrate holidays in the game, in addition to or even instead of real life. Even though everything I'm doing in the game is possible to do in real life, hanging out with my friends and swapping presents or putting up decorations, I'm definitely going to have my town gates open this Halloween in New Horizons so people can come show me their costumes throughout the day. But my big-time Animal Crossing Halloween memories go back to New Leaf, which was the first game in the series that stuck with me and where I was able to adapt to the grind of doing chores and making that dough. I was in the military, and I was in denial about being autistic when it came out, and I was not having a very good time. So a little safe place to go where I was in control came in handy. My escapist fantasy was just having a place of my own and inviting friends over. That stands out as one of my favorite Halloween memories. We all designed DIY costumes in the game or wore some of the Nintendo-themed items. God, I wish those would come to New Horizons. I was Ash Ketchum, and we just traded fruit from each other's towns and ran around being goofy. Starting December 31st of this year, 2022, I'll be playing Animal Crossing Wild World every day for a year on stream, and I know that game doesn't have a Halloween, but finding my own way to celebrate will be a fun little goal, and I hope that you join me. Kelsey Dion has designed the best, most concise, neurodivergent, friendly adventures for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Her horror one-shots are particularly atmospheric and enticing. The Arcane Library is one of those companies in the TTRPG space that fills me with so much excitement every time they put out something new, and it's not even fair for other publishers. I'm also going to give a shout out to the new standalone game, Shadow Dark, which has all the charming aesthetic dungeon core tropes of classic RPGs without getting bogged down by cumbersome rules, clumsy design, or casual racism. All adventures by the Arcane Library have video walkthroughs for DMs, which has enabled me to run some of the best, most consistent games of my DMing life, which has been going on for a while now. If you're going to be streaming games that you love or just want to share them this Halloween, please tell me about it. You can comment or tweet or send me a letter in Animal Crossing if we're cool like that. This is my favorite way to celebrate Halloween, and I hope that you are able to join me. Thank you for watching. Jump scare!